And I do want to acknowledge that in the IMPACT program, this is the one thing that they really beat into you, is about aligning your content in your classroom with your learning objectives, with your assessment. And it's really important, and you learn right up front in the first week of your IMPACT program that your class is woefully misaligned, and you need to work on that. So anyway, this is the kind of assessments we do. We do pre and post course surveys, and really what I'm interested in here is not knowledge but attitudes. And because we need people to go out there and behave in a sustainable way, change the way they look at the world, and be willing to act collectively and make sacrifices for the good of everyone. The quizzes, I wrote this as, these are things I do at the very beginning of class to prove to me that you actually did the work you were supposed to do last night. And then we have group projects. This is the major part of the coursework. So I actually grade the group projects, and I do most of the grading, and Lindsay helps me with that. We don't have our peer TAs do any of the project grading, just they'll grade quizzes and things. And the students do peer and self-evaluations about work contribution, and then we do some content assessment. And then there's individual homeworks, and those are dispersed throughout the semester. And then there's a comprehensive final exam, which is very open-ended. And if, any student that really wants to put in some effort should get a very good grade on that final exam. But again, a lot of this is, I really want to know what has been the effect of this course on the way you approach issues, and what do you think about things, not so much can you do this problem. A little bit of that. All right, so for those of you who might be thinking about doing anything in IMPACT, I would just say do it, it's fun. Don't get discouraged. Things never work right the first time. You got to keep trying. It's a continuous process, and you need to get feedback from as many people as you can. And even though the feedback from students is sometimes a little strange, you really need to pay attention to it, especially the critical stuff, which is hard. I do not like criticism either. I hate it. I mean, if I get a paper rejected from a journal, I don't even want to look at the reviews. I'm just going to put those away for a few days until I calm down, and it takes me about 2 weeks to kind of tippy-toe around to look at the reviews, and then really oh, that was a good point actually. So anyway, I thought I would share some feedback from some students, and this is just from the last semester. And what I've done is pair some comments up. And so I was talking with a colleague yesterday, and he says, well, you can have two people that see a car wreck, and they'll have completely different stories about what happened. And so you got to keep that in mind when you're reading reviews. And it's like, I want to know who this student is, because I would have hugged them. I had no idea. And this is not a surprise to me, because I don't. Hey, you got to show me what you can do. I gave you the assignment. I gave you a rubric. And this one bothers me a lot. This student does not like the discussion, the open-ended discussion we have, and the student is feeling very uncomfortable. And there's actually quite a bit more to the student's comment that I couldn't put up here. This student was very much unsettled and uncomfortable in my class. And my observation is about 10% of the students really do not like this studio style where they can't hide anywhere. Because I'm walking around. I haven't walked around to the back of the room here because you're all facing forward, but in this class with teams sitting in circles, I'm wandering around the whole time, tripping over backpacks, and there's no place to hide. looking at the flight simulator game that's on somebody's laptop and, trying to help them out, things like that, just getting into their life. And this one really bothers me as well. So, this is the way I think it is, but apparently there's students that think that I'm shoving my opinions down their throat. And I'm really trying hard not to. Back in the early days of this class when, it was all a big hippie fest, love fest thing, I didn't have to shove any opinions anywhere. But now I'm very careful about what I say. I try to be. This hurts my feelings. And I just don't know how this is possible. I take attendance, I have attendance policy, I know the student was in class a lot. How can this be? So this one makes me feel good. So this is what this class is about. Student doesn't know completely how to solve sustainability problems because there's many different views and many different solutions, but they think they have the information and tools to do it.